You said I wasn't coming? Who told you that? Once again, those big erasers sitting right behind you.
No, I'm talking about like. Hold on. Ew, why is it wet food? Good. Oh, that's just tripping.
Hand sanitizer.
Standing up in the sun, and that thing sitting perfect.
You might as well move to a different spot there.
And don't we do a reciprocal, whatever you call it.
So, you ready?
No, I'm doing number one, right?
Go ahead. 1 and 2. Solve for B and solve for R.
And Miss Allen, is this equal? Miss Allen?
You said 5, 7, and I repeated it.
I said 1.
You just said 17.
And Miss Allen, can you come in and show me is our equal right?
It's 5, 1, 4.
What number is that? I told him no. He said it's 90. I told him you share it with me for now. Because I was there.
Burger. And Miss Allen.
For a whole hour. It felt like an hour. Wow.
Did that right?
Go ahead, now. You go ahead.
All right.
So, all right, Zay gonna do the first one, Somebody else get to celebrate in a second.
They gonna do the train. That's late. Burn.
Alright, 2A divided by H equal to B. Do you agree?
Yes, ma'am.
Anybody disagree?
No, teacher.
Alright, so pretty easy, right? Alright, the next. Solve for R. Who's gonna try to solve for R? I'll try it. Because that's the formula, right?
Yeah, but we'll solve for R.
Taquan, you ready? Oh, by the way, those of you all who gave $8, you see? You see some of the stuff that the people, they got a calendar, they got a necklace that say hope on it, they got a fan that open up with the breast cancer symbols, and they got candy. And this is actually gonna go to the cancer ward in Columbia at the different hospitals.
Wait, our names on it?
Huh?
What our names on it?
What you mean? No, that just say like Demarcola High School.
I don't know if that's right. So I know they do that one.
It's Taquan. I read Taquan.
Tell him to do that one, bro.
So you see, even though it wasn't your personal dollar that brought this in, but you see, it was for a good cause. So keep that in mind. So the next time I be selling something, maybe you be a little bit more willing to give. And I found the necklace.
You did where it was.
Over here still on the desk.
You sounded blaming it on her. She said she was going to check for that.
Cause you remember when them girls said they want that necklace.
I ain't one to.
So I had to make sure. Then I thought.
Yeah.
There you go. Whoa, how you got the answer?
I got it.
Uh-huh.
I
You got to go up there and explain that.
Well, listen, Just how I got it right here.
Let me try.
Cause see, you just went up there and you just ran the answer, but we don't see no steps.
Yeah, I got the steps. I just didn't run on the board. No.
Well, they need help. There's somebody out there who
Y'all
don't
need,
understand.
y'all need some help.
I do it.
No, I'm about to do it.
Oh my lord. Well, I don't know what to tell
They
you.
talk about, oh my lord.
I don't know what to tell you, my lord.
She didn't want to do the problem.
Hey, but that's gonna be the
What
answer.
you say, Miss Sandy?
I say you just want to do the problem. Go ahead. You gonna say you want to do the problem. Go ahead. You remember one of the things I told you that will help you out is don't be afraid to put the little dots in between. Who? You say Taquan? Marquez. All right. So you jumped up. Oh, they just said oh. You got all by itself?
Now?
You got all by itself?
No, not yet.
Oh, okay.
So, do I have to buy 3.14 times 2?
Like that?
No, for real.
Zay said you ain't had to do all that. Would Zay go out there and help her?
No, you want me to do it?
Yeah.
But you got to show your work.
I just put the answer on there.
Yeah, you put the answer.
But listen, that's all you got to do right now. All right. See, you ain't really got to do all that.
Them boys over there. How y'all coming?
Then what you supposed to do then? It's your turn. No, you don't. Just do it.
I'm sure you will.
It's alright. I just didn't want y'all to do that problem.
White.
That's all you really got to do for this year. For this problem.
No.
Man, yeah, you do. I'm telling you.
She just said I got you right.
I'm telling you what you got to do.
Why you put the R over there for?
I got you.
What you put the R over there for? We solved it for R. Yes. No, not for that one. The other one for the body.
Which one? This one? This one? All right. Yeah, I know.
They put the R back on.
Over here?
Yeah.
All right.
And then put what you got over there for.
All right, so it will be C.
Alright, stop them on it. I want them boys over there. Tell me what Zay just did. And why.
All right. C. Press
What? Give me
Come on, tell me what he just did. Cause y'all talked the whole time he was doing that problem.
Not me. He saw me for R, right?
Yeah.
So he had to get there was on side of the variable. So
Uh-huh.
it was 2 pi divided by. I mean, the top divided by the bottom. With 2 pi. 2 Yeah, 2 and pi divided on each side.
So why we dividing by 2 pi?
Because you got to solve for R.
So we got solve for R. So you could have add 2 pi then. Subtract 2 pi.
It's the inverse.
The inverse of what?
Multiplication.
So keep that in mind. Remember, you always have to do the inverse of the operation.
They ain't knew that.
You could have did this too. You could put R on that side too. That's why I had that first. How you sound? It could be that way too.
He's saying it could be R equal to C divided by 2 pi.
It's just simple, boy. I told I ain't dumb. All you had, we did this problem yesterday.
We did?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, what's up?
Where you were yesterday? Alright, so once again, we're going over lateral equations. And this time, you are going to be placed into groups or stations, as they call it. And you're going to have to rearrange the formulas. So everything that we were dealing with lateral equations, most of them was actually formulas that you would use like in geometry. You might use some of them in science. So we're still working on that today. So creating equations that describe numbers or relationships, rearranging the formulas, and solve equations in one variable. So let's see who's going to be in groups together.
Oh, Lord. That's
Oh my. Hey, DJ.
Oh.
So you all need to group yourself together. There's 4 groups in here. Get yourself together in your group. Them girls already together. Nah, you all got to get together.
Get the girl together like that. Why you
We all work together.
There's a reason behind. So go ahead, get in your groups. Station 4 will be here. So that's Dave,
on,
Tasman,
come on,
and
bro.
Shannon. What's over here? Station 2 is right here. So keep your eye on Marquez.
Station 1 for me.
Yeah, what is that? How you not smell it? Don't do it too much.
I don't want to move from my seat, bro.
So when you get in your groups, you need to read the paper that's on the desk. Each one.
It do smell like that, big power.
So every station is going to do something different that's dealing with lateral equations. So I'm going to come around and try to make sure that you understand what each one of your groups actually supposed to be doing. So I guess it would make sense to start with station number 1, right?
No.
Go down 4 to 1.
Go from 4 to 1. Why? Because that's wrong?
No. Good group right here. Station 1. Right here.
Huh?
2, 3, 4, 1.
This group right here.
Alright, so station 4, you got 37. You see that? Index cards. And it's telling you everything that's at the top of that paper is written on the index card separately. So what did it say? Y'all need to do a point of that.
Work together to place the cards on the table and create each equation below. Move the cards on the table to solve for each variable indicated. Once you agree to find final answer, write it in the space
You can write on that paper.
provided. So we got to answer these.
Right. So you see, the first thing it tells you to solve for x. Then it say x plus y equal to d. So find your card. Give me a card that got x on it, a card that got a plus sign, a card that has a y, a card that has an equal sign, and a card that has a d.
X, Y, D.
We need an equal sign and a plus sign. See what the help we get them boys some of the other cards.
About done, huh?
Where did you plus sign go? If we solving this equation for x, what it is that we need to do?
Subtract Y.
So find subtract y in there.
Minus both.
Give them some cards so they can help you. Oh. So the question applies to you all too. If we are solving for x, do you agree that we need to subtract y on both sides? So then fine. What I do to one side, do I not have to do it to the other? So you see how that's going to help me. So what would I be left with in that equation?
X plus
You gotta bring these out because they can't
So if I'm going to subtract y,
Subtract y.
this is going to be eliminated.
So it's 8
And what am I left with?
X equals D over X equals D minus 4y.
And you see how you get the answer? So you're going to use the cars to solve each one of these equations on that paper. Does that make sense?
That's so easy.
Well, then do it then.
That's so easy.
I'll be back. I'm going to come back to you since my quiz not here. All right, you notice you all have 5 cars, right? So what you need to do, somebody need to shuffle the cars. You gonna get 2. He gonna get 2. You gonna pick which 2? Put them face down and shuffle the cars. And then y'all gonna turn one up in the middle.
Gotcha.
That's the one in the middle. Now give him one. Leave that there. Both of y'all gonna solve that one card. Now give him one. Now you get one. Give him one. And you get one. Those your 2 you have to solve. So you gonna solve a total of 3, and he gonna solve a total of 3.
We're gonna solve this together.
And y'all can solve that one together. So I would say start with this card, and you see the steps goes in the middle of your paper. See your worksheet. So it say write the original problem here.
Which is
You're gonna put the steps that you're gonna do here, and then you put your final answer there. That makes sense? You sure? Alright. So let me come on back. Now you all has like one of the hardest set. I'm gonna be honest with you. Because you all got the word problem. But it gonna make sense. So let's read this first problem. Tell me what the first problem talk about.
Jesse is going on a road trip to visit college. The college is 750 miles away. How long will it take Jesse to drive to the college and the average speed is 60?
So it said how far. So we dealing with the distance. Are we gonna use A equal to pi r squared? Does it sound like we need to use that formula?
No.
What about y equal to mx plus b?
No.
What about c equal to 2 times pi times r?
No.
What about d is equal to r times t?
No.
Well, v equal.
No. I think it's that. 8 equals 1.
What do a stand for?
The area.
The area. So we find the area or something.
No.
What v stand for?
Volume.
We find the volume or something.
It's this.
What c stand for? Remember, we go circumference. What do y equal to mx plus b deal with?
Multiplication.
But what's that y'all should have learned about in middle school? We ain't talked about it yet. And it's at an angle. You remember? And we could do rise over run. Rise over run.
Rise over 1. Yeah, it's like
Y
a chart.
t minus y
We'll go like
1
this.
over.
X-axis and Y-axis.
So the slope. You
Yeah,
said the slope.
Yeah, slow.
So which one did it leave? What do D stand for?
Distance.
Didn't I ask you what was the
Yeah.
distance?
So
So you're gonna use that formula.
Yeah, we gonna use
But the
that
question says if his average speed is 60 miles per hour, how long would it take? Right? So are we gonna just find the D? What is the D? The distance. What is the distance that he traveled in that problem?
750 miles.
So we know what D is. The rate is like your average speed. So we know the rate, which is R. We don't know what T is. So your first thing is you need to solve for T, solve the equation for T, and then substitute in for D and R and tell me what the final answer.
So we do 750 equals.
We ain't substituting in yet.
Seven-
Solve for
750
T
over-
first. Okay, remember we're dealing with lateral equations.
750 over R. Solve for T. Is it over R?
Okay, so you saying that T is equal to D over R. That's correct. Now substitute in for D and then substitute in for R. That makes sense? Solve for the variable first, then substitute in.
What you wrote, Tom? T is equal to 750 over 60.
Great job. That's all.
Divide.
Oh, y'all know what to do. Alright.
What's that?
So you realize you solving for the different variables. So for the first one, Z is already on the side by itself. So you got 2 things to solve for. The first time, I need for you to solve for X. Then the second time you're gonna solve for Y. That make sense? Talk to me now.
So,
You see it says solve for each variable. We already know what Z equal. So now we got to solve for
so-
X and the Y.
So you gotta subtract X and Y. Right?
Which one you saw? Which one you gonna find first? The x or the y? The x. So if I have 5x, what you got? Minus 1y is equal to 4z, right? And I'm solving for x. What do I need to move over to the other side first?
The 5.
Huh?
5.
We're gonna divide first. Rewrite the equation over to the side.
You gotta move that 4, right?
Rewrite the equation first. Because I think because we use them big old blocks, it is not making sense to you. Now we got, doesn't it make a little bit more sense? So if I'm solving for x, what it is that I need to move first to the other side?
What?
Huh? The one word.
1y.
So what's the inverse that we're going to use? Addition, subtraction, multiplication. So then go ahead and add your 1y to both sides.
You are gonna solve yours.
So that makes sense, huh?
So they give you 6.
Oh, I'm coming.
They give you 6. Right there.
So what you left with? Can I combine that 4z and that 1y together? I'm trying to see what you written. Y'all talk to me now.
That's right.
Now you just told me we need to add. Why you dividing? Do exactly what you told me now.
So that gives you 5. Right there.
I'm coming. Let me help you out. And you can look too. So we have 5x minus 1y is going to equal to 4z. Right? You already told me I'm going to add 1y on both sides. So what now be left with what?
5x.
So we left with 5x is equal to. Can I combine these two together? So tell me what to write on this side.
4 and 4 plus
Okay, plus 4z plus
1y.
1y. Do I have x by itself?
X? Yeah.
My question, we got x by itself?
X.
Just x by itself. Do it?
No.
So what we got to do? What's on the side with x?
That 5.
And what we going to do with that 5?
You gotta bring it down.
When you say break it down, what that mean? Add, subtract, multiply, divide?
Divide.
So if you know we got to divide, when we get... And we finish.
That's it.
Yeah, so you see, let it make sense to you. That makes sense?
A little bit.
Well, now I want you to take that same equation, and then now I want you to solve for the y. Then I'm gonna come back.
These problems different from the regular ones.
It is right.
What did you do? What y'all did? So we got a plus b divided by s equal to t, right? And we solving for a.
You know, we just really.
Tell me what
Oh,
you
we
did.
ain't solving for A. Dog.
Oh, we saw.
Explain to me what you
Dog.
did.
We solving for A. I thought we solving for T.
No, hold on.
You know why I laugh? Because you all did all that work. You see it? Just to come back to the original equation.
Word, I just said that.
That's why he started laughing too. How you? So in your mind, you went from solving for A to I need to solve for
That
T.
is the same.
It's the same.
But
thing.
I'm gonna tell you, your first step were correct when you multiply S on both sides. But I think because of your thinking after you multiply S on both sides, the first thing you said I need to solve for T, and you see how you went straight back to the original equation. Y'all ready? Huh?
Okay, for this one, I know how to use. Like you said, 1280 equals to 16. You gotta find W times 10.
So why didn't you solve for W first? Because remember we dealing with lateral equation. So before you substituted in, you needed to solve for W. So over to the side, put your V equal to L times W times H. And you need to solve for W. And then it'll begin to make sense for you.
Oh, divide. Do V. Divide by. Wait, multiply those and then divide by that?
So we got V equal to L times W times H. How do we solve for W? What's on the side with W?
L and H.
L and H.
So we divide all of them.
What you mean all of them?
L and
Divide
H.
which one?
We divide all H's.
No, we divide L's and H's on both sides.
She said divide L and H on both sides. What you said?
Divide L or H.
Or?
Either one. No, L. No, H. No,
So when you confused, you know multiplication has that funny thing. Can I not go ahead and do what Malia said?
divide both of them.
Instead of dividing one this time, then I'm going to go back and divide another. So see, it doesn't matter. Just go ahead.
Divide. So
Help her out, Malia.
divide by L.
Because she about to make a mistake.
V.
Because she put a bunch of division signs all over that paper.
Oh. You're supposed to put a line with the L, W, and H.
Oh yeah, V over L H. What else go L H? Yeah, W, L W.
So what would W equal?
H.
Huh?
H.
W is going to equal to H?
W is equal to V over 1H.
W equals to 1.
Yeah.
You want to know what's funny? You said W is going to equal to V divided by 1H. How you don't know that your 1 is an L and you written it?
Oh!
And she said it so serious too. 1H.
Oh.
What's up? Y'all got it?
Yes.
I'm coming back.
Yeah, I think this right here. I think that right there.
Go ahead now. Y'all
Right
think
in.
you're right?
All right.
Hold on, I got it like this now. That's how he got, but I got it like this. I don't know if it's right.
So one of y'all, what you got?
I think not with Nick, because me and him worked out with Nick.
Oh, so you think so because you helped him. So Shannon said gonna be T times Z divided by B. You all say T times S minus B.
Come on, Z.
Who I ain't know Z? It's a B.
Oh, B.
So you say T times B?
Yeah. 'cause
T
you
times
put it
S
right here, you
divided by B. He divide B. You all subtract B.
Yeah, because it's on the other side. It's on the side with the variable. You got to do the inverse of addition. Just track.
Why you divide it? Tell him why you divide
I
it.
divided because I divided because that's right there. T times S equals A plus B. And then it
So
comes
you
out here
divided because the T times
S.
the S is multiplication.
Right.
That makes sense now?
Mm-hmm.
If you moving the B, right? Why are you looking at what the T and the S got? If we moving the B, what do the B have on it?
Huh?
What do the B have on it? Look in front of the B. What's it say?
It got plus.
So what's the inverse of addition?
Right.
Y'all laughing, but that's
So what
your
you got?
partner. Y'all supposed to help him out. Y'all could have said, man,
So
you
this
wrong.
is right.
That's y'all the other ones.
Hey, these different all of them.
I believe in you and you and you and you.
You too.
Dude, tell me what you did. Explain to me.
You right?
Yeah. Explain to me what you did.
See, multiplying is the inverse. Dividing is the inverse of multiplication. So I put T over R equals D.
What are you solving for?
Solve for
So that just don't seem to make sense, do it? That what you got? Let me see your paper. Oh, okay, y'all worked together. So it's not that your thinking was wrong, but you solved for the wrong variable. Now that makes sense. So I come back and check on
She said L, she meant 1, right? So W is 1.
No, when she said 1, it was L. So what was your equation? W equal to. Tell me what the equation is.
V equals 1. I mean, V equals L times W times H.
No, we're not talking about that. Once you solve for W, what was your equation?
Oh. Once we solve for W.
What y'all came up with?
You did. Then come on, no answer.
You did?
No.
It's look on your paper. Why are you so confused?
I rewrote it with the numbers in it.
What W equal?
1.
Taylor, look at your paper. What
Yeah.
that say?
V over 1/8.
Why y'all keep saying 1?
I mean, L.
LH.
So is that not your formula? You don't solve for
So
W.
it's 1280. That's the volume over the length
Times the what?
times 16 times the height.
So what's the problem? You gotta know your paper and y'all still confused.
Oh.
1280.
Yeah, so
You gotta know your paper.
I do. 1280
This
divided
now when you
180.
did, you got V divided by
16
L times
Times
10.
10.
That's W. So now substitute in.
So it's W equals W.
Equals W.
Just the buzzes I got.
Let's look at it together. What y'all solving for?
Which one? Which one?
First of all, what is 6 divided by 3?
2.
So why not just put 2A there? I think it make your life a little bit easier.
You talking about this one?
So put 2 there.
Instead of 6 divided by 3. You can simplify it on that. So what you want to solve for?
Something for C, ain't it?
Y'all tell me.
I think
Solve for 5B. I got
Huh?
5B.
So you want to solve for B? Y'all come up with a consensus, A, B, or C. And then y'all tell me what y'all want to solve for.
Me and you got different things.
No, I'm just saying. But y'all come up with one letter. Because y'all have the same numbers because y'all rolled the dice together. Y'all supposed to roll the dice together to get the same thing.
They said you were giving a Cuban ball, so we were doing it different.
Okay, receiver.
Alright, so you gonna go with C. What's on the side with C?
4.
So what you need to do with that 4?
We're gonna add. No, the first add addition is subtract. No, we're gonna divide.
Tell me about that 4. You see the 4?
I know it's positive.
How's that 4 connected to that C? Addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division?
Multiplication.
So how you would tell me then we need to do the inverse with the subtraction or whatever? What is the inverse of multiplication?
Division.
Okay. So you know you gotta divide that 4 on both sides. Don't let that. So what you gonna solve for? You said B? If you solve for B, then why you moving B on both sides? The way it looked to me like you solved for A.
If I'm solving for A, it'd be 2A.
But let's look at it. Okay, put 280, as you said. But what is 5C subtract 5B?
Nigga, though.
Can we combine those together? Are they like terms? Then why you say 0? So what you supposed to write there? You had your answer. What you doing?
Huh?
It's like you sitting there looking confused. Right? What you came up with? Now, do that make sense? Now, what you got to do next?
Just write it over.
Oh, well, then, right over. I'll come.
Oh.
You move it R?
You gotta move Z, man.
I told him, boy, he got Z.
Yeah, you gotta move Z. So what's the inverse of Z?
Negative Z. Negative Z.
Minus Z.
Minus Z.
Okay.
Yeah.
Minus Z on both sides.
Minus Z on both sides.
Minus Z. Minus Z.
Go ahead.
Would it be A over R equals F times negative Z?
So when you said minus Z, right? What have this moves? Correct?
Right.
And a minus Z, you saying it's going on the other side. What are you left with?
This.
Yeah.
Well, what is that?
Negative.
AR.
So you see, don't forget that negative, because the only thing you said is a negative. When you say A divided by R is equal to.
Negative AR equals F minus Z.
Who got the minus Z?
It's over there. I ain't got no minus Z. Shannon got 2 on.
Okay.
Minus Z.
Now, what is it that we got to move now that's in the equation?
We gotta move that Z. L. Decide what the variable.
What you solving for?
R.
So we're gonna move F.
R.
No, you're gonna do the Z again. You're gonna do the Z again, right? It's gonna be plus Z.
Look at what you left with now.
Oh no, you mean.
What's left on the side with A? No, you solving for R.
A.
What's left what?
When times will come back.
You have to put a positive Z, right? Or you don't?
Remember the Z was already positive. So y'all just told me we had to subtract Z.
It'll be A.
So remember how this problem went? Remember when we were solving these type problems? Now, don't we always move what's in the denominator? Right? So would I not take this and I'm gonna multiply over to that side? Correct? That making sense? You know, we always, but we need to solve for R, right? So what's on the side with R now?
F and Z.
F and subtract Z. So why not take this and then let's move this over to this side?
Hold on, what you want? What you mean card?
Talk to me. I got to dig it out.
Hold up, what you doing? What you just doing?
If we multiply R on the other side, right? So that means we have F minus Z times R. Correct? So you remember when we solved that problem, let me hold your parentheses. So you remember how this here what now comes in parentheses the moment I time R on both sides? Y'all remember that? We just did a problem like that yesterday. So now it means I'm taking this whole thing here and I'm timing it towards R. Correct? So what is the inverse of multiplication? So wouldn't I have to divide all this and put it on this side? So wouldn't I not be left with a negative A divided by F minus C? Think about the problems we did on the board. And you remember we had to move like the A on both sides? And then we put it in parentheses. The moment we multiply something over to the other side to an expression, we had to put it in parentheses.
So it'd be negative A divided by F minus 0. I mean Z equal R. Oh. So complicated.
What'd you say?
Ask him.
Say what it say.
He said,
Negative
Say.
divided by R.
Oh, well, all right, say that.
famous university? Hmm?
Say what it say.
Yeah.
Can you give me a bandage, please?
I'm about to get your band name.
Give me one.
Hey, Kevion.
I did 2. 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 I did 2.
Sir, can I get a red ribbon sticker?
James, you ain't finished?
Huh?
If you ain't finished, if you really
Oh, no.
we gotta switch up. Y'all win tonight. Y'all, you get my tip is y'all win tonight. All right?
Hold up, I'm gonna ask her if this right
You
though.
get this, you win.
Dr. Dez, James.
Move, son.
If I catch it, you'll win that career.
I'm gonna come to you.
Y'all can
Can I go to the office, you want? Okay. Uh-huh.
Find that problem right here, bro. S, who got S? Union, Union, Region, Oregon, Viking. You got S socks. I got S. You got none of them in there. Oh, bro. You got S. One kid, school kid.
You know what I'm noticing as I go around? You all trying to understand how to solve these lateral equations, but you would say one thing and write it down. But when it's time for you to rewrite what you have on your paper, that step, your answers are not the same.
Because I was thinking A equals pi or
It's the one with
I got to solve it this way.
it's in criteria, right? And you
You got a Z, you got a Z, you got a Z, you got a Z. I got an 8. I get the bag. Ain't no Z. Shay, you got a Z? Probably a Z. Thanks for your love, man. You should get some.
You the wrong one, ain't you? You know that it means the cost.
If I got a Z, so it's gonna be. You got multiple yeah, yeah. Parentheses, though. The distributed property.
Yeah, it's times T, right?
So it's ST.
It's a minus
Yeah, minus
Y'all going to demo tech today? Y'all got demo? I was about to say, can you? They about to call.
Sorry.
Did you start for
Schedule we on this.
not sticking mine.
But you saw.
Oh, do my
Attention, Demartech students, please report to the bus. Demartech students, please report to the bus.
Today Friday, kind of candidate. He's aggravated behind.
I'm doing this right.
Set a key.